I didn't hear you, Mike.
I said on your picture it says owner, OWNER.
Well, I own a couple of best baseball teams, so.
All right. I saw the NBA's getting ready to kick back off in July.
How do I change that?
Let me think. Back at the first, let me look here just a minute.
Ron, if you right click on your name, there should be a rename button.
Rename. Got it. Got it. Thanks.
Mike, I'm glad you're defending the Alamo this morning.
Yeah, I am.
Fantastic. I like it.
Yeah.
No graffiti on there, is there yet?
No, not yet. I'm down here protecting it against protesters.
Good morning, guys.
Morning, Cece.
Oh,
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
Morning, Bob.
How you doing, Kathy?
Doing great.
You're looking great.
Oh, yes. Thank you, sir. I got my Rotary shirt on.
I see that.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have my pin on.
Oh, a shame.
Shame on you, Ron. Oh, now we can see you, Bob.
There you go.
There we
Yeah.
New man, Bob.
Well, Ron Johnson, you're looking okay.
Bob, you are stupendous. You look like you're ready to sell some cars.
I am ready to sell some cars and trucks. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, trucks are better. I forgot. Where's Pete? Pete here?
Here's Cece.
Hey,
I'm-
CC, looking good.
just went to get a cup of coffee.
Hey, Cece, would you put your thing on mute? The outside noise is loud.
Okay. Okay, I can go inside.
No, you don't need to go inside. Just put your microphone on mute when you're not speaking.
Okay, yeah, I can do that because construction going on behind me.
Cece, is that big new hacienda?
Yeah, that big house is under construction. It's going pretty fast, and it's huge.
Have you walked over and supervised a little bit?
No, I can see it from my backyard. Huge construction going on. They're going pretty fast.
When are you moving in?
Whenever he wants me to.
All right, it's about 7:34. Why don't we fire up today's meeting? Sharon sent me an email early this morning that AT&T has given her a difficult time with her phone line, so she's not going to be joining us, and maybe a few others will join in as we move along. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and let's open it with a prayer. I'll lead you in one, if you don't mind. Our Heavenly Father, we want to thank you for all the blessings you've bestowed upon us. We also want to ask that you protect us during this time of concern, both with disease, protesting, all the various things that are going on in the world. bless this board and help them make the right decisions to help maintain the club and keep it moving forward and doing good in the world as we always try to put service above self. In these names, in your name we ask. Thank you. Amen. All right. Secretary.
Yo. The minutes, did everybody get the minutes?
Yes.
Everything good with the minutes?
Yeah.
Looks good to me, Mark.
Okay. Sound like Paul made a motion to accept the minutes as they are. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. A second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
There you go. Anybody opposed? All right, the minutes carried. Thank you for doing that great job on that, Mark. President's report, the couple of items I wanted to cover under it was, as I said in there, the nomination committee has given us two names. Harold McLeod is our treasurer, and I see he's on the call today, and also Robert Thomas for our president-elect nominee position. Pending the PPAC's review, I'd like to ask this board to approve me taking these names to the June 19th annual meeting and getting them on the ballot. So,
I so move.
okay.
Second.
All right. Any more discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Harold, but that doesn't count. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. The other thing I wanted to mention was it looks like we probably got roughly $750 left out of our meal money that we said we would allocate to the various functions. That's assuming that we pay $1,000 to the Rotary Foundation. And I just recommended that we give it to the food pantry since they're hurting. And I saw there was another one about recognizing responders. So I'd like to get a quick decision on that so we can move forth with that. And
What does the food pantry mean? Is
there's
that an actual group?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
it's McKinney Food Pantry here in town.
Okay.
And we tried to do a food drive with them, and they said, please don't, because they have to do all this decontamination process and everything. So they're actually giving gift cards and food certificates to like the North Texas Food Bank and various stores. And they're desperate for funds right now. And we gave them $1,000 earlier.
Okay. So you want to give them $650, but, or what was the part about first responders? What does that mean?
Well, the other part was some people, we've already taken care of the hospitals, but some people, as you saw from CC's email, like buy meals for the policeman or the fireman,
Okay.
which we could get about for $650, you can get 45 meals. Yes, Ron?
How much of this went to Rick's people organization, and how much have we given to Meals on Wheels?
So
Roughly.
Meals on Wheels, we've given quite a bit to this year because
I didn't ask for a judgment, just how much?
$7,000 for equipment and then another $2,500 for food.
Okay.
And we've delivered 251 cards to go out with the meals.
Good. Thank you. That's all I needed.
So it's not Meals on Wheels. We were talking about the food pantry in general, the McKinney Food Pantry.
I'd move that we just go ahead and give the remaining money to the food pantry.
I second.
Okay.
Can I make it?
What'd
Hello?
you say? What'd you say, CC?
May I make a comment?
Yes.
The only reason why I suggested the first responders, because we have the fire chief and the police chief also members, just to show the respect and courtesy towards them. But Mike called me and explained to me that is, I agree, because they all have a job. You know, they are drawing salaries and those kind of things, and we are appreciative of all their services. But you know, a lot of people are suffering, you know, without food and all those kind of things. And I was just expressing my opinion because, you know, those two are our members. So I agree with Mike's suggestion to provide that funds for our food pantry. I don't.
Thank you for that. Any additional comments along that line? We do plan on, if we can get our 3 chiefs at our June 26th meeting, maybe recognizing them at that meeting. We're going to try to invite them, let them know how much we appreciate what they're doing for us.
Yes.
All right, so everybody in favor of the food pantry?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Anybody opposed? All right, get that marked. All right. Okay, and I'll save the other part to another part of our agenda. Let's move forth with the past president's report. Celeste, anything past president wise?
I was just going to ask you if you would like for us to have a PPAC meeting after the regular meeting this week, or if you want to wait until the planning meeting. Because not having a lot of them in person attend, and some of them aren't even doing Zoom calls. So
that's the PPAC is up to you as the chairman of that, how frequently you meet and where you want to meet and how you want to do that.
Then I recommend we have a meeting following the regular meeting this week for those that can attend in person. And I'll send out the reminder if that's okay. I know we have some on the call right now.
Yeah, you missed George Webb probably, and I don't know who else. I know there's that's y'all's call.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay, then I will send out the reminder.
Super.
And that is what time?
Just immediately following the regular Rotary meeting Friday.
Okay.
And Mike, if you can just send me those nominations, I'll just make sure we get those discussed.
Okay, it's all the current officers plus Robert Thomas and Harold, who are in the president's message I sent you.
Okay, got it.
All right. Next up, Paul Spartman.
Yeah, just a reminder on the June 10th meeting and the planning meeting or at Celeste. I will be asking for what people would like to eat, a sandwich or whatever that I could prepare, get there ahead of time. So I was going to try to do that. Last time I think we had like pasta. I was thinking in terms of what might be simple as like just getting sandwiches from Jimmy John's, if that's okay with you guys. That's going, and I look forward to having a sit down and just talking about the 3 to 5 year plan and objectives, and get the chairs to develop their plans and actions to support it.
Thank you, Paul. We appreciate that. Anything else?
That's it from me.
All right. Kathy, would you update us on the budget, please?
The budget or the financials?
Financials.
Financials.
Financials. The club, did everyone receive the financials?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, in the club, we've got $30,600. 6,500 in receivables. Cherie is a little, we need to talk to Cherie. Hers is over $1,200 now. And Stella, I got another 75 yesterday, so she's sending every month. She's sending $75, but she's still at 800. Does anybody know about Joseph Benton?
No.
Does anybody even know who Joseph Benton is?
Yeah,
come on,
so
David.
it's kind of
I'm
my,
sorry, I don't.
it's kind of my opinion that he may drop out down the road here. He's kind of gone a different path. It looks like, watching some things on various social media activities. And I'm also concerned about Andrew
Harpo,
that
right.
his involvement in his activities and so on. He's a great guy. I hate to lose him, but
Yes.
those are two we either need to reach out to or romance or something. If we want them, if we don't. I think Ron has more insight into Mr. Benton than I do.
Yeah. Ron, do you have something?
I talked to Joe in the wintertime. He's happy. He communicated that he's happy to pay, but he's just too busy to attend meetings, playing golf. So I think it's probably time to go back to him and say, there's a reasonable expectation that you attend meetings and participate in the service projects. And if you can't reach that reasonable expectation, you leave. Yeah, David.
Yeah, so we have, if we're now approaching members who are paying simply for not attending, then we've got a long list of members that should fall into that category. If he's willing to pay, that has never been the policy. We allow you to basically never attend. Reference Rick McDaniel, reference Butch Irby until a few months ago. We allow you reference Lisa Hermes. We allow you to not attend if you're paying for as long as you want to not attend. So
I actually disagree with that, David. We've had a policy that there's a reasonable expectation you participate in service events. To wit, I can't think of the name. No, Jennifer Buchanan paid, did not participate for years, did not attend, and still went around and put the fact that she was a member of Rotary on her various Facebook, her advertisements for Smiles. And that was kind of crossed the line for a lot of the board members, that applying on Rotary's good name and still not being a part of the group is, that crosses the line for me.
And that's what Joe is doing?
No, you're right. You're right. But how,
I would just say that
it's a difficult conversation. I'm happy to go either way on Joe.
And I don't have a problem going that way. I'm just saying there are several other people in this boat as well. And we would, I think, if we go that way, would have to go that way with all of them.
Well, then I recommend we table this that kind of part of the conversation until we devise a more concrete policy. And just keep taking the checks.
I agree, especially during COVID, because there's attendance difficulties right now anyway, so.
Agreed.
Also to David's point, we've had some members that don't show up at meetings. We had one that showed up on a Zoom call, first time I've ever seen him at a meeting in my almost 6 years with the club, but he does service projects outside of it, so that's different. And I think in the case of Joe, the issue is he's not only not active, but he's now $535 delinquent. So that
I move we table this conversation,
Yeah,
take the
I
checks for
agree.
now, and come back when we can create a consensus of what to really to do.
Okay, so why don't we go, is everybody okay with the club's financials? Do they have any questions on the club?
I make a motion that we approve the financials.
The club financials.
Yeah, we haven't discussed the foundation yet, Paul.
Okay, the club financials.
Okay.
I don't have a problem approving the financials, but I did want to come back to Cherie. $1,200 is quite a bit more than, our average. So what are we doing about Cherie? What have we done? What are we going to do?
I haven't done anything because of COVID, but she usually brings cash, and I thought she would have some last Friday, but she did not give me anything.
Like
So,
that's more than a year in arrears.
I know.
Well, maybe we could say that Joe is covering for Cherie, because Cherie attends meetings.
And participates. I'll talk to her Friday. I'm sure she'll be there. We'll see what she says. Is that okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, the foundation, we have $65,900 in the bank, and then a CD of $52,116. Receivables of $4,000, and we got yesterday. We got Timber Creek HOA for 14 flags. So that's off of that was on the receivables list. So we got them yesterday.
How many times have they been invoiced, the ones on the receivables?
Just
once?
As one of them you've done twice, the Lenny, Metro Lenny.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was twice.
Yeah, and Paul's
because we had the wrong email.
And Paul's Workman's working with them. So, but they've all received emails. They've all received invoices. I want to tell you something though. That's not really a accounts receivable report. It's nice to say that, but there's no commitment or guarantee that people are going to renew every year, either individuals or companies. That's just a list we go and work and try to get to do. But I like the fact that we put it on the accounts receivable because it gives us a nice itemized list we can go work. If you recall before, Paul Powell would bring that list to each club, would round it around the tables, would get people to sign up to go work with those different companies and get commitment to try to collect the money. Ron Johnson's been a superstar in that area in the past, and some others. And so I like that it's on there, but we got to be careful thinking of that as a hard financial receivable. They've not signed any kind of agreement or commitment that they're going to continue to buy flags from us. Bob Thomas may quit buying flags someday. Who knows? Just as an example.
Well, and I think another thing we have to be careful of, and this has happened several times, is I understand the loyalty in people who have done the flags in the past. But, when we approach Memorial Day, like within a day or two, and they call up real quick, oops, I forgot to do flags. And we run out and do the flags for them, and then wake up a week later, we're still waiting for the money. I understand the courtesy, and we want to keep that, they just got to hold up their side of it too. So whoever's telling them that it's okay needs to also collect the check. Probably.
Don't we have the Sheraton? Didn't we put flags up at the Sheraton and we've not received that money? Is that correct?
I don't
believe so.
Oh, did you? Okay. We talked about that when we drove to deliver meals and you didn't know if we had flags there or not.
We don't have their money.
No, and you may not get that. You may not get it from the Sheraton because of what's going on with that industry right now.
Right.
That's a good example. But the body shop, that's a good example. Bill Cox called and said, hey, we need it up, but nobody's paid the money.
So I agree. If we're putting flags there, they need to be an account receivable because they're receiving the benefit. So we need to keep them on that list. And
we should not put the flag up unless they commit to pay. Correct.
I can speak to the Sheraton. They used to be on my route and they were not on my route this time. So we didn't put flags there. I'm assuming they're not on the route because they haven't paid, just to clarify.
That's correct. And I don't,
we're talking.
I agree with that. And I think that's exactly the case. Mark and I drove by there delivering food to medical center and we were talking about we didn't think they'd put them up. So thank you for confirming that, James.
Any questions on the foundation?
When we get the flags, I think Mark will tell you how many we've sold since that he's put that report out, and it's quite a bit more. So we've made up for many of those people.
Somebody do a motion for the foundation.
Can I say real quick, I just pulled up on Modus and it just shows Sheridan was paid through end of 2018. So I don't know if they even did it last year. So no, they're not getting the benefit. So we probably should take them off the list.
Okay.
Well, what we need to do is go call them and see if we can sell them flags.
I make a motion to approve the foundation financials.
A second.
All in favor? Any more discussion? I'm sorry.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, financials carry, both club and foundation. Next is our foundation report.
Had to unmute. You got my report in writing. The one thing I just need to bring up is today at 10:30, we're doing a virtual announcement to the scholarship recipients. So if anybody would like to attend that, it's a Zoom call. I can send you the call-in information. As many people as want to participate can. So they'll be announcing to the students that they've received the scholarships, the three, the John and Judy Gay, the Carrie Cox, and the Al Reshoff scholarships.
Excellent. Any questions for Celeste? You guys are doing a great job there. We really appreciate it. All right, David, RI Foundation, sir.
Yeah, so you've seen the club giving report. As I said in my email, we came up, we will come up about $1,000 short. Q4 giving through dues payments is at 860. I don't know if Kathy has an update on that or if it remains at 860.
She's shaking her head, yes.
Okay.
It's the same.
Okay, so that leaves us at like literally $1,008 or something. So I, as discussed previously, would suggest that the club make the final $1,000 gift to the RI Foundation so that we hit our number and get the full match for next year. So I will make that in the form of a motion.
I would second the motion.
All right, so we have a motion to use that $1,000 from the club to pay our RI matching foundation. And I think last year we ended up doing quite a bit more than that we had to pay. And
no, I don't think that's true, Mike.
Okay, I thought we gave like 20.
Make up a gap last year. The donations from the club were sufficient.
Okay.
It was 1,350, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
I was,
1,350.
because I was thinking what we were paying was almost what we got back in a matching grant, you know.
I'm sorry, I just really don't remember that.
Okay, we'd have to look at the finances. Okay, anyway, the motion's out to pay the $1,000, and everybody in favor of that?
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes.
All right, super, thank you. Anything else, David?
Nope.
All right, great. So is Stephanie come on board? I didn't see her earlier.
No, she's not on.
Okay, all right. She's closed the gap with the Camp Bridla finances, and so that was a good deal. Robert's not here with the parade. Sharon's not able to join us today, but for phone difficulties. Membership, Ron.
Not much to report. John Levetri has requested a leave of absence. I don't know if we've acted on that officially or not. He's entering a long-term care facility. and has requested a leave until he sorts things out. We may want to keep him in our thoughts because I think this is a new journey for him. Pipeline is dry, no leads for membership, which is never good, but that's where we are. And additionally, I expect though that once we start meeting again and with the flags and really all the great things we're doing, I'm hoping that that pipeline will get filled back up. Don't have any resignations that I know of, and that's the end of my report.
So under membership, I'd like to mention, I put in the notes about, we've got a couple of people on the LOAs, and we talked earlier, might lose a couple of members, we don't know. But there's several people that may not be able to join us physically for some point in time. And I just wanted to throw out to the membership team to consider, and I don't know how we work the logistics of it, but we might have a membership where there's no meals included, and they still have to do some kind of service and all the stuff that all the other requirements are there. But instead of $250 a quarter, it'd be $100 a quarter. And if they showed up for a meal, then they paid the $15 and that type of deal. So I'd like to ask the membership team to consider that.
We'll look at that and come back with a recommendation.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it, because we've got several people that are not going to be able to join us for some period of time. I've talked to 2 or 3 of them recently. So,
it's a new world.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it
All
is.
right. Super. That's all off of my list there. Cece, grants?
Well, nothing special to report. The international global grant will still continue. The additional 5% contributions from all the 7 clubs finally got sent to Rotary International because many of those clubs are not meeting regularly. It took a little extra time, not because of the money issue, but the last club, the Plano Metro, it's only $25, but I cannot put money from my pocket because it has to be from that club to the Rotary International. It's all taken care. So the funding is done, but the operations in India are delayed because of the same issues they have. We have put down payment for the ambulance, but the production did not start. Same thing with the dialysis machines. The machines are available. We just need to proceed with that, but everything is on hold. But the country is, again, just like us, it started to opening back slowly, so it should be done in a few months. Another comment, 2 comments for David Kelly. Maybe in about a month, you may want to contact the district or Rotary International, because we will get a credit, Paul Harris Fellow credit for $20,000, because we paid a total from our club to this global grant, $20,000 as our contribution, and we will get that many points for our club, Paul Harris Fellow points. It's already in the account in Rotary International. Number 2, yesterday I was involved with the the general secretary from Chicago was the speaker. It was excellent, and one of the comments he said that in spite of all these issues, RI, they're not working physically in the office, but operationally and financially, Rotary International is doing extremely well. They made additional contribution, $23 million towards the corona issues throughout the world. Just a comment. That's it.
You might want to
Any
share
questions?
You might want to share that $23 million comment with the population tomorrow at the meeting. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Any questions for CC? All right, flags.
Looking at it this morning, we're up to 1,181 in flags. I think we're pretty close to being finished with any of the prep work with the new flags that came in preparation for Flag Day. And looking at the report that we were discussing earlier, the aging report, I did talk with Paul, and Robinson Ridge, which is the largest AR here, is 1,125, and they've been invoiced. They were late at signing up, and Paul has been in direct communication with them, so we should be receiving a check any day for them. So that'll knock off 1,125, and then we're just kind of going to divide and conquer and call in these others to get a indication one way or the other of where we're going. You know, whether it's someone that's on the list that we're putting flags out for and have not paid, and determine if we continue putting them out, or if it's someone that just hasn't paid and doesn't want to pay. So we'll clean that report up. And other than that, I think we're doing pretty well with flags.
Well, Mark Potter, that was a giant jump forward here from Memorial timeframe, and that was a big stride upward, robust.
It was, and I was warned by Mike and Paul and probably Kathy that that's what happens. You know, those flags start going out, and we start getting phone calls, and you know, all the way up until the morning of Memorial Day for us to go put flags out real quick. So, but yes, hopefully we jump up. Our goal was to have, I think I put 1,350. And if we could get to that, it's going to be a push. But if we can get to 1,350, that's, to me, that's good organic growth. And if we can do that every year, I think that's great.
Mark, what kind of increase that from last year this time?
Last year at this time, what did we say, Mike? Was just a tad under?
Yeah, it was about, yeah, we're running a little ahead of last year right now, but on the organic growth, we increase about 100 to 110 flags every year, and last year we did 1,250, and so we're at 1,181 right now. I think we were at 1,121 or something last. We looked at the numbers for the last 2 years actually, and I think we'll close that pretty easily, because after you put out flags again in June, we'll sell more. Not as many, they'll go down. And then there's a quiet spell, you know, you get the 4th of July, then there's a quiet spell until September. And we'll pick up several at the end of the year, which is always fun for Kathy. Around, we'll
and
start
Celeste had a question.
November, we'll have people buying flags when they go, you know, when we're doing Veterans Day. So we'll probably get to the 1,350 pretty easy.
And to jump on that, the reason we say organic growth and just natural growth, if we go out and heavily market and really jump this thing up, we just don't have the manpower. So we're contemplating moving into next year, potentially paying individuals to go out and do the prep work. That's what Sunrise does. And it may be, if it's initial install, that we add that to their initial payment, and that covers the cost of having someone go out and do the install. But I think Celeste had a question about Trinity Falls, right?
Yes.
Celeste?
Yes.
I believe they put out almost 100 flags last time, and for Memorial Day, and we're up to, I think, 13 or 15 new ones to put out or to prep before Flag Day. So it'll be up to about 115. And I mean, I think Trinity Falls is going to be our fastest growth, and we're going to wake up in a year or so and be close to 175.
Have we done mailings to Trinity Fall residents? There's so many people out there.
No, or because we're doing organic growth.
Okay.
we can't handle them if we get them.
Okay.
I have a question. Mark, you said that, I know we discussed raising the fee that we pay people to put flags out on routes, but now you're talking about paying people to do the prep work for flags before they go out on routes?
Right. What we, you know,
Can I ask, is there a problem with the group that's been doing it so far? Because I'm on that group. I like that job. I don't want to lose that job.
You won't lose it, but we've got more than we can get done. Mark and Paul, you wouldn't believe how many they've done. 1,000 themselves, probably. You know, or not quite, but
my belief is if we can get 10 people committed to doing it, that divides it up, and I think that's great.
it's
But
not 10.
for example, you know, this year I had 6 or 7, and we ended up with 4. And
Yeah, I know I was out this year because I had shoulder surgery,
Sure.
and that's just difficult. But you know, in previous years, we've had a group of, I think it was, I don't know, 6 or 7 guys. It was me and
5.
Danny
It
and
was
Randy.
5, but we also had less than 1,000 flags.
And Paul and Mike were doing the high percentage of it.
Well, I'm not opposed to paying for it. I like doing that job. And so I would suggest that we recruit before we pay
No,
somebody.
I agree. And like I said, if we can get, you know, 8 to 10 people, then that makes it really manageable. And what's really good about that number is if someone gets hurt, someone has to go out of town urgently, it's not hard for someone to jump in and help them out. And I think it'd be great. I don't have a problem going out doing them. I do them all the time, but you know, doing 350 takes a whole lot of time.
So the difference between our club and the other club is theirs more geographically concentrated. Ours are scattered all over the place. So you've got a nice group there together, David, you do. I've got another route I do that's over 27 miles on one route. I've got one I've got to go do now that's probably another 30 miles.
But Mike, I'm not arguing that there aren't
Yeah.
issues with it. I'm
Yeah.
just arguing that we can handle those issues in-house. And I would be willing to step up and lead that effort.
Great.
And maybe the end result is we outsource it, but I think that we can look at recruiting and look at route improvement and look at a lot of things. I'm not saying that there's not issues. I'm just saying let's take a stab at handling it in-house before we outsource it.
All right, so we're going to call on you to come get the volunteers to do the installs and the prep. We'll take that. Because that's something we've been trying to do for the last 2 to 3 years, and we've actually are losing people rather than gaining them. The reason we chose the outsource route, I reached out to Steve Midas. I think we do a better job than the Sunrise Club. They don't do anything other than collect the flags into their warehouse and distribute them out of their warehouse. Everything else is outsourced. They don't do anything. And I think that's one of the great things that we do. We put out some of our flags, and we also do a lot of the installs and stuff, but it's getting to be unmanageable is the point. So if you can get more people, we'd much rather have that.
Agree.
Mike, maybe Kathy can tell us how many flags the Sunrise Club have.
2,200 they put out on Memorial Day.
They were in the same situation as we were, and they could not handle it. You know, they were doing everything in-house.
Right.
They're reaching that again. Steve Midas is trying to figure out how to get more help.
Yeah, they cannot handle it. That's why they got into this situation, completely outsourced. And if people like David Kelly wants to do it, hey, put him in charge.
No, I think that's great. And David, I'll work with you and we'll identify people. And if we can get, like I said, 8 to 10 people, I think that really gives us a good group to go out and do that.
All right. Anything else on flags? We got someone signed up to help us get installers and refreshers. Mark, I may not get to my Route 20 until Monday, but I'll get it done.
That's all right. I can see if I can help you as well.
All right. So that's it. Upcoming events. We've got the June 10th meeting. Also, Celeste sent out an invite to you to join the Habitat CEO. And we got the Rotary Roundtable on June 13th, which Paul Swartman and I will be at, and because we'll be voting on that. I will tell you that they're looking for nominees for various Rotary District Awards, and we're applying for the Club of the Year, and also CC's working on some special recognition for our global grant. So we'll report back on those once we know more about it. Anything else from anyone?
I would just like to invite everybody out this coming Saturday, June 6th, to our 3rd annual Battle of the Badges. So the fire department is vying against the law enforcement team, and we're having a blood drive. Carter Blood Bank, or Carter Blood Mobile, will be at our location at Bob Thomas Ford. And this is an annual contest where they have to choose, or the donors have to choose between law enforcement and the fire department and make a contribution. And it should be a great day. And so come on out between 9 and 3.
Where is it?
It's at Bob Thomas Ford. It'll
Okay.
be set up right in front of the dealership with several mobile donating stations.
And you can buy a new car while you're there too. All right. Anything else from anyone? All right. I appreciate your attendance, and we'll call the meeting good at 8:18. If anyone has anything else, I'll remind you tomorrow we're meeting in person as well as Zoom, and I'll be sending out a reminder as quick as I can get to it.
Good day.
Okay.
Good day.
All right.
Thank you all.
Bye-bye.